Free education will change your life. Welcome to Jobferno. I'm SB Graham, and today we have another Reddit post of somebody who talks about free education. Now, I believe they're just talking a hypothetical, and they're just, saying, what would you do with a couple years of free education? And obviously, there are some issues that go along with education. And naturally, it's a harmless question, so I don't really mind if they ask it. But it does bring up an interesting conversation, one that we can have here at Jobferno. And this question comes down to the discussion of the importance of education and the importance of things that are free versus not free. And whether we like it or not, there's a psychological thing that happens when we choose to accept free stuff. Now, when it comes to education, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I spent about 8 years of my life going to college. I have a bachelor's degree. I have an associate's degree. See, I spent so many years of my life wasting my life away in the college education system that I have a little bit of a unique perspective on it. I went to college not knowing what I wanted to do in life, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably in the same boat, that by the time it was ready for me to make the decision of what do you want to be when you grow up, when it became that time, I wasn't prepared. I didn't have anybody to guide me through the difficulties of choosing a college, choosing a career, choosing a life. And when you turn 18, suddenly you're able to sign on the dotted line and accept debt. I look at this posting here and I don't think too much about the hypothetical fun discussion that could be had, but it leads into a deeper, more meaningful discussion of things that are wrong with our country. What would you do with 2 years of free education? If you had up to 2 years of free education available, what would you choose to maximize your income and career fulfillment? Okay, so I think when somebody is posting something like this, either they have this strange desire to start a discussion, or it's a hypothetical that means something to themselves. So does this person really have 2 years of free education available to them? They might. I don't know. Maybe they have somebody paying for it for them. Or they're considering student loans as free. But here's the big thing. When you're 17, you can't sign for debt. But here's the big thing I want you to understand when it comes to the conditioning of the public school system that funnels all of us into the college system. They know that at age 17, you can't sign for debt. You can't sign on the dotted line legally. You cannot sign a contract. But at 18, when you're fresh out of the pool, when you're a financial virgin and you have no idea how to manage money properly, they need to pounce on you. They need to get you in the door right away, and they need to get you to sign that dotted line. Let's just use a different industry for this. Let's just imagine that we're all conditioned that as soon as you turn 18, we are all obligated to have a brand new Chevy. And so as we go through high school and we're all getting ready to graduate high school, instead of talking about what college majors we get, we all discuss what kind of Chevy you're going to get. We'd all stand around talking about, I can't wait to get my red Chevy truck. Just imagine that. Just imagine if that's what life was like. If that's what your high school was like. And then that magical day came. You graduated from high school, and for the whole year, you've been receiving little pieces of paper, advertisements in your mailbox telling you about what kind of Chevy you can buy. And they sent you a bunch of these things. You get it from all across the country of all different dealerships who want you to buy from their dealership. And in their discussions, if I buy from this dealership, I'll be more popular. If I buy a bigger car, life for me will be great. And so, if you can imagine, every year, thousands upon thousands of high school graduates run out to the streets and they jump in their parents' cars and they all drive to dealerships to go pick out their Chevy car. Now, obviously, this is a ridiculous example, but this is what's happening with the universities. This is what happens with the colleges. They know you cannot buy the car at 17, but as soon as you graduate, as soon as you are 18, You don't even have to graduate. But as soon as you are 18, you can go to their dealerships and you can sign on the dotted line. To make matters worse, and we all know what this worst component is. Every person who imagines themselves graduating from high school and going to buy a Chevy, they're excited because they know something special. They know that Chevy that they're going to buy is free. They don't have to pay for it. They only have $500 in their bank account if they're lucky. But they know it's for free. That car, that Chevy, is free. They never, ever, 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 ever will have to pay for it. All they have to do is go pick one out. And the Chevy dealer sits and they go, we're not going to send them a bill for 4 years. We are going to be Chevy, and we are going to sit and wait for 4 years, and then we'll send them a bill. We'll actually let the interest rates just increase the price. So if we have them buy a new Chevy truck at $50,000, by the time we start sending them a bill, or actually 10 years after we start sending them a bill, they'll owe us $100,000. And then, as this cash cow for Chevy continues, as more and more people go to buy a Chevy from the Chevy dealerships, some activist who thinks they're doing good says, it's unfair. It's unfair that not everybody can buy a Chevy, that not everybody can just get free money and buy a Chevy. We need to make it so every person has free money to buy a Chevy. Then the government takes over. And they say, I know. We will be the people who will back the loans. And then Chevy says, fantastic, that $50,000 Chevy truck is now $70,000. So, okay, I may have gone a little bit too long with the whole Chevy analogy. I think you get the point. We have all been conditioned in our brains to accept the fact that the next stage in life beyond high school is going to college. And we've made it so easy for people to be conditioned because we know it's free, but we know it's not free. For those of us who still have student loan debt, I could tell you it's not free. For those of us who have walked around with that ball and chain around our necks, we know it's not free. For those of us who have failed to have the life that we really want, to do all the wonderful things for our kids and for the people in our communities, to start a business, to hire people, to improve our house, to improve ourselves, we know student loans are the stranglehold that is killing America. And so I know this is an innocent post by this person. But the first thing we need to do is you need to tell your friends, you need to tell everybody you know that college is not free. College is not a place where you go after you go to high school. It is a pathway. It is an education for the job that you desire. Now, I think earlier we talked about the guy who got an engineering degree. By all means, go to college. That's what you need it for. Okay, other people could become engineers, but going to college is pretty much the 100% foolproof way to accomplish that. So there is a purpose to college. Don't get me wrong. But in America, we've done things wrong. And we've done things wrong for a long time. We've allowed this predatory act of colleges targeting young people, people who have no idea what they're doing, people who have no idea what their financial plan or strategies are. They're taking advantage of people. That's what colleges, universities are doing. It's predatory, and it needs to stop. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me an email at questions@jobferno.com. I'm SP Graham. This is Jobferno. And as always, choose skills over money.